27 minutes moving up to the hour of 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the show. And let me say good morning to our guest in the studio. Two familiar faces you know by now, Sergeant Henry and Mr. Gilbert from Public Works. However, though, I'm going to let Sergeant Henry introduce the program so at least you know what we'll be talking about. You can pay attention, and if you have any questions to ask, we're going to open the lines for you to do so. Of course, if you have any concerns as it relates to traffic, we will also be taking your calls as it relates to those matters. Sergeant Henry, good morning once again. Mr. Gilbert, good morning to you also.
Good morning, GQ, and good morning to the listening audience. This morning, I have Mr. Gilbert with me from Public Works. When you talk, I listen, and I put things in place that you could ask other person's questions when it relates to other things that not really pertaining to traffic. So this morning, I'll start off with parking. And parking means to remain stationary for any period of time which is longer than reasonable necessary for a passenger to alight from or get on a vehicle. So if you stop to put off someone and there's a yellow line, yes, we know yellow line means no parking. If you stop in an area where there's a yellow line for somebody to get off or get on, you're not parking. But if you're steady and no one is coming or going out of your vehicle, you're parked, whether the engine is running or not. Whether you're in the vehicle and the vehicle remains stationary for a period of time. If no one is getting on or off, it is considered as parking, and that is an offense. Parking means causing or permitting a vehicle, whether occupied or not, to remain on a road, except, as I said, while the vehicle is being loaded or unloaded. You're taking out goods or you're putting in goods, not taking out the envelope to say you're going to drop it off here. We're talking about things that are heavy for you to walk with. So don't think you're going to pull up and say, okay, I'm just going to drop off an envelope here. I am not parked. Yes, you're parked. It is not loaded or unloading something. While a passenger, as I said, entering or leaving the vehicle or in compliance with the direction of a member of the police force. So for instance, you want to stop and you say, officer, I just want to stop here. Yes, the officer give you permission to do it then. But not just you pull up there and then you think that you're going to do whatever you want. If you get permission from an officer, then it is okay. While temporary stop by reason of mechanical breakdown. You have a mechanical breakdown with your vehicle, something wrong with it. You pull up, yes. And you let the officer know if anybody's around that, okay, I have a mechanical problem with my vehicle, and that's the reason why I stop here. Some people will stop and pull up the hood, and nothing happens to the vehicle. Mm-hmm. Yes. They will open the trunk, and like they're unloading, offloading, nothing. Several times person do that. Yes. Because it came under our notice, the person talk about it. Mm-hmm. That this person said, oh, I just park here, and I just pull up my hood. Nothing happened to the vehicle. Yes, you do not do those things, because once that happens, you'll be ticketed. Stopping. If you stop in an area, as I said, to put off someone, for buses, you stop, but not just stop anywhere. You have designated areas to stop to put off passengers. Yes, you're driving a bus and you say, if a passenger says, stop here for me, and the bus stop is just like a couple feet from where the person gonna stop. You're gonna stop where the person says stop. No, it is illegal to stop anywhere unless it is not a bus designated stop. So when passengers tell bus drivers to stop here and there, and unless it's not a bus stop, it's an offense. You also can be ticketed for that. I'll stop here for now because last week we had some concern and some query about the traffic light. We had about speed bumps, and we also had about Old Road Bay. So Mr. Gilbert is here with me this morning to speak on those things. So now I'll turn over to Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you very much, my colleague. Good morning to GQ, my colleague, and all those who are in Radio Land. A pleasant good morning to you. As I was instructed to speak on 3 topics this morning, and I'll do so. First one is speed bumps. The public is crying out for speed bumps in some areas. Public Works and the police have had meetings in relation to speed bumps, and we decided that we are going to install some speed bumps in some critical areas. And some of those critical areas, to start with, we have Dr. William Connor Primary School in that general area there. So we're talking about Weekly Avenue and that general area there. We have the Tucker Clark School area. We have Washington Archibald High and Bastia High area. We have Irish Town School area. And then we are going to do those first. And then after those, we are going to go to the rural areas to continue the process. The program should commence next month to lay the speed bumps. Now, pertaining to the traffic lights, we are experiencing a little problem with some of the traffic lights. The one at Baker's Corner, the one at the bottom of 4th Street, and the one at Sundang Road. What happened is that the battery in them have gone. And whenever current goes, the light goes out too. When current comes back, the light will come back on. So we have ordered some batteries, and the batteries should be here shortly. As soon as the batteries arrive, we'll put in the new batteries, and then if current goes, the light will still function. Now, but what we are realizing is that the pedestrians are not using the walk correctly. Sometimes the silver, as they call it, the silver man comes on, and they take a while before they even start. And then you realize that they're getting collision with the traffic. There are other times when you have the motorists now abuse the lights. In that when they see the yellow, they're still flying. When the red, they still try to fly through. Some persons come close to the light or by the stop. They stop, they put off persons, they actually put off items there, and they block up the whole traffic. So by the time the light changes, you realize that they should have gone, or they're just moving out and there's somebody behind, and it creates a bottleneck in those areas. I have personally stood up on Keon Street and look at the traffic, especially like on a Friday afternoon, and these are the problems we have in those areas. So we are asking the motorists and pedestrians to be mindful of the lights. I must go further to tell you that the police have already installed cameras on some of them, but what they're trying to do is to get the appropriate laws in place so they can ticket you. What happened in England is that if you run the lights, the camera will flash 3 times and you get a ticket in the mail, whoever the owner of the vehicle. Now, when it comes to Old Road Bay Old Road Bay, the project is not completed. Now, the contractor has brought in his own asphalt plant. The Public Works asphalt plant was the only plant on the island. He was using it, and he has now brought in his own asphalt plant, which is a new plant, and he said he wants to use a new plant to undertake the mix and to pave the road. Now the plant is being set up as we speak. It's not commissioned yet. As soon as it's commissioned, then he will actually pave the road. The commissioning of the plant should complete anytime shortly, and then he will have the mix, and then he will actually complete the road. When the road is completed, then we'll allow it to oxidize in terms of let it dry out, and then we'll actually mark the road, put cat eyes in the road, in the road and on the sides. And our next concern of the Old Road Bay, people are talking about lighting on Old Road Bay. Lighting was never part of the contract. We do roads, and Skelec would do lighting. So what we did is that after they've been asking for it, we actually add some plinths, the concrete bases for the lighting. We started adding them, but then somewhere along the line, Skelec didn't have the poles, so we just had to abandon that aspect. They told us now that they got the new lighting, so we are actually going to get going with those plinths and then get lighting on the road too. So what we are doing, we from the public works and the contractor, we are actually going to put the plinths in place, the concrete bases with the bolts in place, and Skelec will be responsible for mounting the poles, putting the light head on top of it, pulling the wires, making the connection and connecting and turn on. So that's as far as it will go. So those are the 3 projects or the 3 areas I'm here to talk about today.
All right.
Mainly.
Thank you so much. Sergeant, with your permission, can we open the lines now? All right, let's take our call. Good. All right, let's try this one. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Mr. Liebert. Mr. Gilbert and Sergeant Henry, good morning to you all.
Good morning.
First of all, I'm really pleased, happy to hear both of you in the studio today, because I believe traffic and public works need to dialogue more. It sounds like you all does. I say it because public works have to make the roads comfortable, secure in a little way, but of course, in traffic, have to make them safe for all people who use the road, pedestrian and motorists. Sergeant Henry and Mr. Gilbert, you all spoke of things that is so evident that takes place regularly. I like your presentation this morning. However, I want to speak on one of the things that I heard you all speak of this morning, the traffic light. The traffic light in Sandown Road on the Bay Road in Newtown. There is more accident takes place there than any other traffic light. More, frequently, and too often. I am hoping, based on what I see, based on my observation tells me, is it possible to make that junction a one-way in from the Bay Road instead of a two-way? It might eliminate accidents there. There's a road just as you turn to come up from the Bay Road and Sandown Road. To the left, it's called Hobart Street. Why don't they make that street a one-way street coming out and to go left up to Sandown Road? I am of the view it might help in some degree. For speed bumps, it is good to see you all putting on the concrete speed bumps now, which will last a little longer. But ever so often, you all have to paint them back because of the wear and tear. I was suggesting that you all paint on the edge of the speed bumps, both edge, at least 3 or 4 feet, depends on all your, perception of what you think it might be visible to motorists. Paint it white. Why? Because white is so obvious, it's recognized quicker in a further distance away from the speed bumps than the yellow. To save the paint, that same paint you're all going to need to paint other places like it is in Basseterre. That is my contribution. I thank you all for listening and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father.
Any response to that caller?
Sandown Road. He spoke about Sandown Road, but it's only a one-way from the Bay Road. You only could turn left if you're coming from cross by the Pelican Mall. You can't turn right if you're coming from Fisheries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it's only one way you can turn right by the light.
From listening to him, I think he's making reference from coming from Pond Road. So you won't have people going down on the Bay Road from Sandown Road to avoid the accidents that has been.
So you're coming from Pond Road and you take a right into Sandown Road?
No, what he's saying, do not allow traffic to go down Sandown Road. You can only come up. So that way you won't have any traffic going onto the Bay Road and having accidents.
Yeah, but the thing is, persons are running the lights. That's why the accidents are caused.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
the reference
because the light there to tell you when to go. So if it's a two-way,
right,
it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
But because a person run the red light,
no, I get that.
And that's what happened.
And he understands that too. But he's saying people are not adhering to the lights, so just make it a one-way. That's what he's saying.
Then it's going to cause a problem on Pond Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because remember, Pond Road going to be east and west. So if everything come out, when those persons coming from Pond Road, when would they get out?
Mm-hmm. I understand your point. Just making sure you understand his.
We understand.
Yeah.
I think what needs to happen now is the regulation for the cameras to come in place.
Well, he spoke about Herbert Street. Well, I agree with that. Make it a one-way. Because Herbert Street is a small road. So I'll agree with that, and I have it noted here.
All right. Talking about pictures, before we go back to the phone line, to both of you. Mr. Gilbert, check your phone. I just sent you a picture of a possible growing manhole there on Seaton Street.
Seaton Street. Okay, Seaton Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I sent you the picture. Someone took a picture of that area as a concern for you to check out. Let's go back to the phone line.
Thank you.
Good morning, your life. Yes, your life. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. GQ.
Hey, good morning.
And good morning to you, Sergeant, and good morning to you, Mr. Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert, I'm always so impressed with your presentation. And that's all we was asking for. You coming on and clearing the ear makes such a difference. You know, sometimes we, the general public, we don't know what is going on behind the scene, but all we sometimes ask is someone who is in authority can just come and give us some information. So at least we know where the government is or a certain situation like that. So in relation to the Old Road Bay, at least we have an idea what is going on rather than nobody saying anything. And as I said in an earlier program, it's just a recipe for a disaster in relation to a serious accident. Because I don't know if you traverse that area, Mr. Gilbert, but what you find is that person not sure where they're supposed to be on the left or on the right based on where they're going, and sometimes you find persons are basically in the middle of the road. So it really needs the lighting, it really needs the marking. This is essential, and especially we're in the hurricane season. But you're coming on in the ear, I want to thank you very much for clearing up the ear, and that's all we was asking. So thank you, you all have a good day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Is there a timeline, or there's no timeline set as yet?
Yes, by next month the work supposed to be completed.
Okay.
The construction work supposed to be completed.
Okay.
And the plinths, we're going to put the plinths in place, and then we're going to liaise with Skellec now to get the lighting in place.
Oh, so it's going to be done in phase?
Yes.
All right.
But it can be done simultaneously.
Okay. All right. Sergeant, back over to you.
Yes, sir. There's nothing much really to say. I just wanted to clear the air from last week with the Old Road Bay. That's why I brought Mr. Gilbert this morning. And at least the general public know what is going on.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Gilbert, any last words from you? Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up the program? Oh, before you do so, hold on. Let's take this call. We have a call coming in. Good morning, your life.
Yes, good morning to our Sergeant Henry, Mr. Gilbert, and UGQ. I have a concern on the Island Main Road, and this is in Lodge area. When you come out of Lodge going towards the Mount Carmel Church, on your left-hand side, there's a vehicle that normally park there, and it obstructs the traffic. And now, sometime I pass, I see two other vehicles join it, and the pickup has been there for some time now. Right, I think that's something, Henry, that you need to look into. Also in Keys, there's a new shop or something that is built there on the right-hand side, the seaside, if you're going towards Keon. And what happened now is that you find that vehicles are now parking up outside that business place and creating a problem with the traffic, because there's a slight corner there going towards Keon, so sometimes you cannot see what is coming or where you're going, right? And it's very disturbing to me sometimes. And also in Keys, when you leave the milestone in Keys, going towards Keon, on the right-hand side, the seaside, there's also somebody on Fridays, most of the time Friday and Saturday, who does barbecue. And vehicle come there and park up right on the crest of the hill. So you can't see what is coming up and around the corner. And sometimes nobody is there to direct you. And those are my concerns. I don't think nobody should be parking in those areas. It obstructs the free flow of traffic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, Carla, for those information. I'll get on to Keon
And Tabernacle.
and Tabernacle Station.
All right, let's go to the phone line. Good morning, your life.
Yeah, I'm good. The Lightbird, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to you, officer, and to the gentleman from Public Works.
Morning.
I've been listening to them, right? And I'd like to know, is Fort Thomas Road is not in St. Kitts? Because I've been crying out all when Inspector Mills, there, was on there. And I speak about speed bump. I speak about a lot of things in Fort Thomas Road, and nobody is taking me on. We have a minister in government, and she do not come across him that night, Fort Thomas Road to inspect, to give y'all what an update. And I'm very disappointed. That is why I said, if they have to have an accident, I do not, nobody going to come and ask him anything. Because Fort Thomas Road, it become now a traffic that you scarcely see any police around. And we need to look into Fort Thomas Road, because the road is bad for drivers, and if you do not do something about it, people are going to death on Fort Thomas Road. Have a good day.
Thank you, Carlo.
All right. Before that, you can respond. We had some calls coming in, but you can respond in the meantime.
He's asking for speed bump on Fort Thomas Road, or the road is bad, so it needs repairs. Which one?
Both.
Both? Okay, we'll look at it. We'll look at it together, and we'll make a determination. No problem at all. Thanks again for the call.
All right. We just have about 5 more minutes left inside of the program. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you live.
Yes, a blessed good morning, Ricky, and everybody there. Looking at Fairview up here, right? The road, them don't wash out because it's dirt road. I want to know if you all at public work could fix the road, because the whole them is kind of big. And looking at how we say Fort Thomas Road, like when you're going up by Malone Avenue, it must mean this or so. Must need a speed bump going up Malone Avenue. When you come across from Mr. Freed, Derek Freed. Okay.
All right, thanks. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
GQ and the officer and Mr. Gilbert there.
Good morning.
Now, you know, my pet peeve is persons with disabilities. Mr. Gilbert, a couple of weeks ago I called him about a situation that I saw. I witnessed it. Nobody told me about it. I witnessed it for myself. An old man was trying to step off of the sidewalk to go down to the road. But for some reason, he was afraid to step off because of the height. Right there by the traffic light. On the traffic light right there by the police station, the traffic light across there. Can you do something about the height of those step downs so you could make them a little lower so that person with disabilities could get off and get on much easier, please?
That's it, chaps?
Yes, Mr. Gilbert. Thank you very much.
All right, man. You're most welcome. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for that call. Caller, we are...
Can you hold your thought, please? Let's take this call. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, my road friends here. Now,
Good morning.
Two main little things that the nation need to understand, and things would be much easier. And the two things is patience and a little common sense mixed with it. And then your problem would be a lot easier. Got a little patience, faith, and a little understanding. Yeah, try that. Patience with one another, man. You can't be huffing and huffing. You know, patience and faith. That's my little input, my friend.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Gilbert, you remember your thought?
Yes. Okay, the disabilities. Mm-hmm. That's a program we are working on. We are working on it with the sustainable development in terms of getting that rollout. Now, the government has embarked upon a new ministry which is known as Disability and Aging. And that's part of the program which we are working on to get the sidewalks in that condition. And going forward, any sidewalk we do, we actually ensure that they have access so that the wheelchair can ramp up on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Chaps, I hope you're happy with that. I know you're a big advocate for our nation's individuals who are dealing with disabilities. Thank you once again, Mr. Gilbert. Thank you guys for being here. We now have, 2 minutes to go before our 9 o'clock report. Mr. Gilbert, I'll let you start with your parting words.
Yes, I just want to say to the traveling public that we have the traffic lights in the Bastille, and we have to be mindful of them. We have to take all the necessary precaution. When the lights turn amber, which is yellow, it means for you to slow right down and do not try to pass or run the light at that point. And do not hustle behind the person. You stop. What I want to say something. I heard somebody said that somebody ran the light. A fellow ran the lights in the state, and the police pulled them over. 2 policemen, and the younger police started to argue with the gentleman in the car. And when he finished, the senior officer went and said, "You have children?" He said, "Yes." "You have a wife?" "Yes." You recognize that you could have actually lost your life. Just going 2 minutes faster, you could have actually lost your life. What would have become of your family? And he said that touched him more than the officer giving him a ticket. So I think that we need to take care of ourselves and our family and not just think about speeding, because 1 minute, I don't think 1 minute is going to help us, neither here nor there. So we need to be mindful of the lights and be mindful of the other users of the road also.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Gilbert. Good note to end on. Sergeant Henry?
Thank you all for calling in with your concern, your queries, and your comments. Every Wednesday I listen to your all concern and queries, and whatever I can do, I try to do. I listen to them and I put things in place. So I just want to thank you all for this morning, and God bless you all.